All right, welcome back. We've come to the conclusion of Flask Make Controller, and I promise just one app in this video, but we're going to do something really cool. In my opinion, we're going to make a multi-word namespace, and we've already seen multi-word namespaces, and there are links here to review that if you haven't been following along or if you forgot. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a multi-word namespace, and I'm going to have several different nested resources. And in doing this, what you want to do is you want to build your first resource and then come back and build your namespace, which is a little bit counterintuitive, but that's the step here, and I mark it down here in a comment. So first build the top level model, the top resource, and then add the namespace around that model. And once you've done that, then you can generate each additional structure in that namespace. So once the namespace is in place, you can generate each nested child one level at a time. So let me describe in words what we're going to build here. So we're going to build recipes. We'll start a new app. So we're going to build recipes. Then we're in what I want is, we've seen something similar to this. I want two pages that are viewable to everybody. I want a show page and I want an index page. So everyone can see all the recipes and everyone can see an individual recipe. But there's going to be a test kitchen area where the users who can get to Test Kitchen can do all CRUD activities on recipes. They can manage a recipe's cooking steps. So a recipe will have cooking steps, and a cooking step might have several tips on it. But only the Test Kitchen people will be able to manage those. Now, when a person is from the public user, they are able to see the cooking steps in the tips. They can see both of those when they're looking at a show page for recipe. So you would be able to do that with this kind of structure, but only the Test Kitchen people will have full CRUD on cooking step and tip. So hopefully that makes sense. So we will come to a new browser, and we will, let's see here. So I'm in my demos. Let's list what I have here. I just have the cooker. We're going to create a new app. So Flask new my project. We'll run that and make it a new app, so you know that I haven't done anything off camera. Everything I'm doing, because I just described in general a whole lot of structure to go build out. So we are going to CD into that. It's kind of nice to have this right here on screen so that we can see it. So we'll CD into my project. We'll go ahead and run the app so that you can see it in the browser. And that pulls up VS Code. I'm going to come back here so I can see this. I'm going to come here. Okay. So it's running, and as I type, you'll see this page reload. That's the hot reloading happening on the browser. So we'll first build out recipe. Now you can build it out this way, but if it's kind of a real application, I would build it out using these commands. So I am going to just build out an index page and a show page for recipe. So we'll do Flask new, or Flask, so used to new, right? Flask make view. And then we're going to say recipes.index minus create the route, the controller, and the model, RCM. We'll run that. And then we're going to do a show page. And we will remove the model because we already have it. So we'll make that. And then, so now recipes is all set up. So now we'll come back and we'll do test kitchen. We'll make a test kitchen on recipes with full CRUD. So we're going to make that controller. So Flask make controller recipe test kitchen recipe controller and minus CRUD. So think for a second, what else do I need? Do I need anything else? Do I need to make a model? No, recipe is already a model. Is Test Kitchen a model? No, we don't need, Test Kitchen is a namespace. We don't need any more model generations. So we already have recipe. It's going to be a registered model for us. We got that in the first command. Test Kitchen is just a namespace, and that's what this command will do. So we'll do that. Okay. And now, let's come up again. So now we need CookStep, but I want CookStep under Test Kitchen. So I basically just press the up arrow, get everything back, and CookStep. Okay, so I do want a model this time. I'm going to have Flask command to generate that model, and I want it nested. Nested meaning I don't want like one flat model that's this big long word. I want it to recognize that recipe is a model, and then it should recognize that CookStep, which is the next thing after recipe before you get to controller, that should be a model. Now I need to do minus, excuse me. Okay, so press enter. All right, so you could see up here, it generated CookStep. Great. And then tip. So let's come up to the top and let's make tip. And everything else will stay the same. Boop. So there's tip. All right. So that's all the commands. Those are all the Flask commands that you need to run. Now, if I go to VS Code, I should have like a ton of stuff for us to view. So let's look in our models. We kind of saw them, but right here on disk, we see recipe, we see CookStep, and we see tip. That's exactly what we wanted. Recipe, CookStep, tip. Now, you have to add in the columns, you have to do the migration, but it's all set up for you to do that. Okay, in controller, this is the great thing. If I come back to this, I'm going to be like, oh, great. Okay, so I have a controller. It has an index and a show page, and that's just a general controller, but if I go to Test Kitchen Recipe, I have all 7 RESTful actions. So whoever can get to Test Kitchen Recipe should be able to do everything about creating a recipe. And then here, Test Kitchen Recipe CookStepController also has all 7 RESTful actions, and recipe ID is coming along. So I know that that's also a model that's coming along. I see that also in the models. And then you go even one level deeper and you're at Test Kitchen Recipe CookStep Tip. All right, so then we come into our routes and we're like, all right, well, I've got a recipes route, and that's our two routes. There's just recipes and recipes show. So this is all the recipes, and this is an individual recipe. And then there's this test kitchen, and it has this nested scenario. So you have recipes, you have CookSteps, you have tip, and each individual under init, as you go up the scale, the next blueprint is being registered, so that gives you that nice dot notation for nesting. And the same thing here in the templates, you're going to see that nesting going on. So recipes just has the two, but then Test Kitchen has recipes. There's no files under Test Kitchen, just folder under Test Kitchen, which contains the four Git methods there for recipes, and then CookStep has the four Git methods, and then tip has the four Git methods. So you're all set up to build out your app at this point. The data structure is all there, and the routes are all wired up. So let's go to a route. Let's go in. We can go all the way down and then come back up if you want. So let's go grab this one. All right. So here's the show page on CookStep. Now, you can't just do this because you need to change these to IDs. So we'll put this is recipe 1, CookStep 2, and tip 3. All right, and there we go. So we do not receive a 404 error. That's what I was looking for. If you wanted to see all the CookSteps, all the tips for CookStep 2, you would do that. If you wanted to see CookStep 2, you would do that. Now all these are hidden underneath the Test Kitchen. If you remove Test Kitchen, just for fun, let's do that. You should end up with a 404 error. Sure enough, you do. Can you undo that? Yes, you can. Okay, let's remove and see all the CookSteps. And then you can go back and see all the recipe, or see the recipe 1. And then you could see all the recipes under Test Kitchen. Now here, if I remove Test Kitchen, I should not receive a 404 because we made that specifically, and I should be able to go to the show page. So everything's wired up, and it took like a minute to wire all that up. So that, to me, that's a very powerful feature for Flask using Flask commands. All right, we are now going to move into our next command, which is Flask make model. And I think you'll like it. So I look forward to showing you that in the next video.